Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the delay this morning. Murphy's Law that your computer will always crash just moments before you are about to broadcast something to the world. So there you have it. Anyway, I am Jonathan van Clute. It is Wednesday, February 6th at 5:49 a.m. So a few minutes late, but let's just jump right into it. Let's see here. Things are out of order because of the crash. So let's give a start with the S&P 500, which is just refusing to come down. It is just grinding higher, grinding higher, grinding higher. It's ridiculous how extended this move is. It is really, really crazy extended. At this point, it's just basically holding my breath, waiting for it to come down from here. We need a pullback. A healthy trend has pullbacks. That's just the way they work, and we haven't really had that yet. We had this high here and this higher low here. That was a little bit of a pullback, but it was so minor, and it just doesn't seem to fit that the market would be this strong, just given how nervous people are and global politics and everything else. So anyway, we are well past the 61.8 retracement now from this entire move. And the range is getting small. They're not, we don't have these huge, ranges. The volatility has really come down. So no question about it. The market is quieter than it has been. But where's it going to go from here? That is the big question. Right now, you can only go with the uptrend. The 21 EMA on a daily basis, clearly straight up, and the 21 EMA on a 60. Right this moment, it's gone sideways. So right now, anyway, it's kind of leveled off. But I mean, the market hasn't even opened yet, so that's not all that surprising. So really, this is our direction. It's also up. There's just no disputing that. You can't argue with it. So overnight, the European traders just kind of market sideways to down. Had one little down drop. Just about when did that happen? That was that was when Europe came online. Sorry, I was looking at the time a little wrong. So yeah, Europe drove the price down, and then let it recover. So this is what they do. It usually seems like Europe pushes the market one way, we push it the other way. It's almost like the trading desks of some of these big firms in Europe and the big firms in the U.S. The same companies, different time zones, and they just work together to push the price down and then buy it back and then sell it at the top and then push it back down and etc. They just do that over and over again. And that's kind of what we see here. So right this moment, Europe pushed it down, and then we have recovered all of that, and we are right back basically at the same spot. So what's going to happen from here? Can we take out this high and march higher? That is going to be the big question. And it remains to be seen what's going to happen. I mean, yesterday we had quite a bumpy session, I guess you could say. I mean, we had the big swing down, big swing up. It kind of went nowhere ultimately. I mean, you can see here, started here, ended there. Actually, did it even end there? Hold on, I don't even think it did. Yeah, more or less. It ended somewhere right in here. So, it's kind of going sideways at the moment. Not really strongly wanting to move in any trending direction. So, I'm kind of looking at this area here as kind of a congestion zone and needing to see the market just break out of that, which right now it's just hanging out in there. So anyway, the uptrend is clearly intact. We've got the rising trend line here, and I mean you can see that very clearly here. It is a very, very steep uptrend, though. And I just don't know how sustainable that is for very long. I mean, are we really going to come all the way up and retest this high here in one shot and just go straight to there, straight to the top of this sell zone? Obviously, it's possible if the buyers are that determined, but it just is not normal. It's not typical. Usually, we get pullbacks. So I'm really waiting for that. I really want to see a pullback to a healthy higher low somewhere in here, and then the market can move higher. So that is what I'm looking for. So just tread carefully at this level. If you are not in anything and you're thinking about going long at these levels, just be really careful because we've had a big push up, and jumping on board at this level, you might be a little late to the game. So just be really careful. We really would rather wait for a pullback before going long. All right, let's jump to crude oil and take a look at that. And crude is also just sort of going sideways again. It momentarily broke out of this congestion zone here. Right about here, it just peaked above it and then came right back down into it. So again, we're just right stuck in all of this, and it's not really going anywhere. That being said, we've got the rising trend line here, and we're getting close to it. We're starting to get right up to it, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Technically speaking, the 21 EMA is up, so the trend is up. But right now, it just has not establishing a very clear-cut direction. It's just consolidating. So, really need to see it decide to break out of these highs and hold them. The bulls did this little test here and kind of just explored, hey, can we go higher? And the answer was kind of right now, no. And it came right back down again. So on the intraday, we are again just hopping back and forth between these zones. Right now, we have come back down into this zone and are right now right back in it. We kind of pushed back up to the top of it, poked above here, and then now we're coming back into the zone. And zoom in a little here, see it better. There we go. And so right now we are right in this zone, and we've been kind of bouncing around back and forth here this morning, and are just sort of stuck there. So do we break higher and go back to test this zone again, or do we end up breaking down lower and come down to this one? Um, right now it's looking like it wants to stay in here. There's this congestion area here, and we are trapped back in it again. So, just need to keep an eye on what price does from here. It's as you can see, a big up, and then now we're heading down again, and that's what we are. We're in a very sideways market. So. No real obvious direction to trend on this. This is a scalping time frame, scalping market right now, scalping time. You really want to just take your small profits when you can get them, and grab them and run, and wait for a real solid trend to establish. We really would love to see the upwards version of something like this. So that's what we're looking to see. So we need to take out now. It will be this high here, and hold that before we are really going to march higher. So look for that. Or obviously, if we come down, break that low, break the 21 EMA, break the trend line, break all of these things, then there's room to head lower, and maybe you retest down here as like a double bottom or something like that. But at the moment, anyway, it does not look like crude has really been wanting to go a whole lot lower. I think it wants to retrace a lot of this down move, but just it needs to establish that uptrend. Right now, we just don't quite have it in a real definitive way. All right, let's take a look at gold. And gold is just still right in that zone right there and not able to really get out of it. You can see it very clearly on the 60. We're just going sideways, consolidating right now. And we need to break higher. If this bull move is going to continue, we've had this nice pattern of higher highs and higher lows developing here. And now we've got the opportunity to make that higher low. So, maybe we poke down here, set the higher low, and then march higher from there. That is what we would need to see. The 21 EMA is certainly pointing upwards. We've got the rising channel as well, which could act as support. So maybe price could come down and test that and before bouncing higher. Or maybe it's just the bottom of this zone and it just from here it marches higher. But regardless, any of that, we're going to take out that high. That is our first line of offense, I guess, right there. And that would be basically this high right there. So gold's got to get up there to establish a real clear uptrend. That being said, obviously, if you are a scalper, you're trading intraday, then you are just looking for shorter term breaks of key levels. So you're looking for something like that, and or to the downside, you'd be looking for something like that. So keep an eye on those levels to break to kind of indicate the direction that gold is going to want to break, and then trade accordingly from there. But be careful because the markets are just really twitchy right now, and they can turn on a dime. So as always, keep good stops, good position size, all that good stuff. All right, let's take a look at natural gas. And natural gas is starting to get down to the bottom of that box, that big blue box that I've drew that I've drawn, that I drew, weeks ago now. And it's just kind of grinding lower and looking to test that. So right now, 21 EMA, no question about it, very down. We've got lower lows and lower highs, but we're starting to get to an area of a potential bottom test here. So watch out for that. We're getting very close. The bottom of this box, the bottom area of this box, really. The box is just a little bit too tall, just a tiny bit. So really, it's right about there. Anyway, so we're right in there. So watch for that. Be very cautious of that and look for perhaps a bounce at that level. If it breaks down, then expect a test of these levels down here. And the real strong test would be, of course, a double bottom down here in this buy zone and a retest of that. So trend line right now has been broken. You can see it right here on the 60. And it is trying to go sideways. I mean, the 21 EMA is almost perfectly level, so it is definitely heading sideways right now on the intraday, perhaps bottoming right here. In fact, it could be grinding at a bottom right here. So watch for a test of that high. If that is broken, then you can watch for a test of the next higher congestion area, which would basically be this area here in this zone here. So that is what I'd be looking for: is either a breakdown here or a break out here, but be cautious of the breakdown. I'm very, very wary of that level being broken just because we are right there at the bottom of the box, so the bottom of this big blue box. So trade cautiously. Right now, the trend is still down, but it could change at any moment. And let's finish up with Bitcoin, still just grinding sideways to down. You can see the down part much easier on the 60. It is definitely drifting downwards. There's no question about it. But we don't have a huge amount of conviction here. There aren't really like lower lows and lower highs being formed. We still haven't taken out this low or this high back here. So right now it's just been sideways. But it's this wedge. It's a sideways wedge pattern happening, and Bitcoin is just kind of riding that. So really need to see it either break down and take out that low, or break up and start to gradually take out these levels. Otherwise, right now it's just sort of going nowhere. So if you could trade options on Bitcoin, this has been a good time, a good time to be selling options against this, because it's just sort of going nowhere really. So we need a trend to establish that. It's as simple as that. We just don't have it right now. So the really big key level to look for is that high. It needs to get over that. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen as this wedge gets tighter and tighter. Does it break there below? Does it break there before, rather? Break below before the wedge it really completes, or does it just ride this level here and get stuck in the wedge out here? A number of weeks, months from now, however long it takes. But right now, anyway, just sideways to down, and not really any kind of trend going on. It's kind of like the Bitcoin market is waiting for something. That's what it feels like to me, is that it's kind of just anxiously waiting for some things to happen. And given the stuff that is scheduled to happen this year in the crypto markets, that wouldn't really surprise me. That would kind of fit. But for the moment, anyway, the trend, such as it is down. I mean, if you had to pick a direction, I'd say down, but there just isn't a lot of conviction there. So smaller time frames, you can just look for breaks of these levels and trade them. If we break below this low, you can trade to the downside. If we break below this high, you can trade to the upside. And that's kind of all we really have to work with right now in Bitcoin. So trade accordingly, trade carefully. Okay, that is it. I'm going to finish this up for now and get ready for the trading day ahead. So, again, I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, and reminding you, as always, to please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how these videos are for you, and if they are helpful, useful, etc. I actually didn't get a chance to take a look at the YouTube chat, but I see here that there's no activity going on there, so that's fine. And that's it. Everybody have a good day of trading, and use good money management and all that good stuff. Trade cautiously. I will be back again on Friday, and until then, good trading.